Hey, Sunshine. So, tonight we are coming live, Maya, Calissa, and I, just to talk quickly about domestic violence. This is October 2022, and it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I just want to start off with saying that we're still working on breast cancer awareness. I do have a couple people who are willing to come and share their testimony. But for tonight, we're going to talk about our experiences as far as domestic violence in hopes to help someone else not go through it at all or come through it knowing that you're able to come out on the other side alive and well. So, your experience may be a little bit different than ours, but we just hope and pray that tonight something that we say will be a blessing to you in your life. So if this is your first time, welcome. I am Selena. This is Conversations with Selena. I have Maya Scott. She's an author. I have Calissa Hinton. She's also an author. I'm going to let these ladies introduce themselves because tonight I'm sitting in my sister's car. Let me show you the view. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Camera. Back. Camera. Huh? So there's the Golden Gate Bridge. You see it? That's where I'm sitting at. We just came over here to view that. Maya, there go your mountain over there. And there's Alcatraz far over there beyond those people. I ain't trying to go to Alcatraz, but I will go to the Golden Gate Bridge. So let me change my camera back. I wish these people would make it easier to flip back and forth between these cameras. But here I am. Okay. All right. So, Maya, you want to introduce yourself first?
Hey yo, I'm Maya. I've been on here 1,000 times. Hey, Miss Sunshine. Hey, Calissa, I'm an author of Signed and the Blood Blocked It. That's me. That's it.
All right, Calissa. She has a blood blocked it signs. She has one in the working. She's been going from city to city, state to state, sharing her testimony. All right, Calissa, go ahead and introduce yourself, please, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Calissa Hinton, and I am self-published author of The Manifestation of His Creation. And yeah, so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about domestic violence and our testimonies. I also work for the State Department of Mental Health. And if you don't know, mental health plays a lot in domestic violence. So we may touch a little bit on mental health as well coming into domestic violence. So
All right. Well, welcome, ladies. Thank you all for saying yes. Maya, like she said, she is a repeat participant of Conversations with Selena. Any topic, if I say Maya, she said, let's do it, baby. Let's do it. And so I appreciate that. And Calissa, I think this is her second. Is this your second time, Calissa?
second time.
This is her second time coming, and she also says yes. So I'm just thankful for the people who do not mind helping to make this podcast show a success, because without you and the viewers, I would not be here. I even question it sometimes, but I still show up because this is what I love to do. It's inspiration, motivation, and information. And so tonight, I hope we can give you a little bit of all of those, some inspiration, motivation, and information. So I'm just going to start just with a little snippet of my situation. I've been in a couple of domestic violence situations. Some are physical, some emotional, but regardless, it's still abuse, no matter how you look at it, and none of it is healthy. And like Calissa said, that mental health plays an important part in the aspect of this abuse. Like, why do you even attract this? Why do you stay? How do you see yourself? That's what I feel like. And I didn't love myself the way that I needed to. And so I gravitated to people to continue the abuse. My abuse started as a child with sexual abuse. And then it was just like, I don't know, I felt branded from that point. And it continued on even into my adult life, accepting things that I knew in the back of my mind that I was better than that. But for some reason, it's like there's two voices that's playing, and one is saying, you should do better, you should do better. And then another voice is telling you that you're not worthy of that based on things that had happened to you and me in our past. So unfortunately, I had to go through it. My children experienced some of it with me, but I decided that I wanted better for them, and we got out. Then I think I became the abuser, just verbally kind of abusive, screaming, yelling. Not really, I didn't curse my kids, but you don't have to always use cuss words to tear them down. The best way that I could describe it is just really fussing. I just fuss. You need to do this and you need to do that. And that doesn't encourage anybody or motivate them to do anything, the yelling and the screaming. And so even though I got them out of the physical, and some of the emotional, like the cussing and the breaking things, I, in my own right, became somewhat of an abuser myself. So I'm not proud of it. And I feel like I'm still making up for it because whatever they need, I'm trying to be there for them at this point in their life, at this age. And it varies from child to child what they all need. So hopefully and prayerfully, I'm doing a much better job than I was previously. But you do the best that you can with what you have. And so if I can just tell each and every parent, not to beat yourself up, because we are all out here doing the very best that we can with what we've been given. And sometimes our parents, we look at them and wish that they would have, but they can only give us what they were able to, what they were given. And so anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Calissa, because I know Maya probably feel like I'm always starting with her. So I'm going to start with Calissa. Calissa, do you want to piggyback? Because we can just have a conversation. It doesn't have to be one person speaking. Y'all could have cut me off and said, hey, Miss Sunshine, same thing over here. But Calissa, what do you want to add to that?
Okay. So, domestic violence. Okay. Well, I will start by telling a little bit of my testimony of how the abuse played in my life. I was in a 5-year relationship with a guy I thought who was going to be my husband. And, all women, when they meet that one guy who you done prayed for, asked God for, and he's just so dreamy and charming, and it doesn't turn out to be that way. And so first I'll start by saying this. My self-worth and my self-love I never had. I was born differently than other people. So I never had self-love, self-worth, never experienced it. And a lot of people in my life knew that. And so the guys I chose, I always thought I had to put myself out there. I always thought I had to look a certain way to attract guys. And that became like the theme of my life. So by me not having that self-love or that self-worth about myself, I didn't have confidence that, I love myself or anything like that. Basically, I hated myself. Didn't think I was beautiful at all. So I think I'm about 19 or 20, and I meet this guy at work, and he's at least 20, 21 years older than me. So so we, he asked me for my number, and I try to dismiss him off because I'm thinking that's all he wants. That's all he wants, my body. And so we actually meet up, start talking. And at first it's a whole different ball game. He's charming, he's tall, black, hardworking, good looking, everything that a woman wants in a man. He's that. So I made the mistake. We moved way too fast. Um, I moved in with him after 4 months of knowing each other, way too fast. I think we probably slept together 3 weeks of knowing each other, way too fast. So in the beginning, he wasn't controlling at all. He was just very charming, everything that I could want in a man, everything that I prayed for. And so at 6 months, he proposed. And you would think 6 months isn't enough time for you to know this is the person I want to spend my life with. But I turned him down because I didn't know anything about him. He was from a whole different state, had a whole different family in a different state. He was down here living with his, down here taking care of his mom, actually. And so I didn't know anything about him. So I turned his proposal down. So after that, that's when things started to unravel. And like I said, we were living together, and I started voicing what I needed in the relationship that I wasn't getting. And so then it became more of, I'm not going to do that. Um, you're you're not worthy of this. And he will always put me down, and it will be an emotional and mental abuse at first. But because he knew that I didn't love myself, he knew that I didn't have that confidence about myself, that's when it became more mental and more controlling, with him putting me down. And I took that because if I didn't love myself, I thought, well, this is somebody who loves me for me. And I never had that. So time went on. We had our first physical fight. He he choked me the very first time. He got on top of me. We was having a big argument, and while we're doing that, alcohol kind of played a part of that. We both like to drink, but I had my drinking under control. He did not. And he would drink to the point where he blacks out. So when a person drinks to that point and they black out, they don't know what they're going to do, period. So we had our first physical fight. He choked me. And you would think from that first time I would actually leave. But when somebody is, saying they love you, they love you, they love you, and you think that they really love you, you take all of that in, and you don't really understand that they really don't love you, but you have to love yourself. And I didn't love myself, and he knew that. So at the end of the first fight, he says, "I'm sorry, that'll never happen again." That's the very first red flag in any abuse, when they say, "I'm sorry, it will never happen again." And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe this was a one time thing. It's not going to happen again. And so several months passed by, maybe another year passed by. Same scenario. We had another fight, drinking involved. I was actually in the bed with him, and he turned over and started choking me. So you would think after the first incident, I would have learned my lesson. I would have left. But no, I stayed because I thought he really loved me. I thought it would never happen again, and it happened again. And so now I'm thinking like, okay, something is wrong. I got to get out. How do I get out? I'm praying to God, get me out of here, you know? And so he's second red flag. I'm sorry, it will never happen again. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe this time it was my fault. That's another red flag, where you're always thinking it's your fault that you're not, maybe if I do this enough, or maybe if I do this enough, he would love me more, or he can love me the way I need for him to love me. So the third time, we're actually in a different state, and we had a major physical fight. where at first I put my hands on him because, like I said, we was in a different state. We was actually in New Orleans, Bourbon Street. You know, a lot of drinking goes on there. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't want to be left in the hotel by myself. And so he was going to leave me by myself to go party, you know, with the locals and everything. And I tried to push him back into the hotel and push him back into the room. And he actually grabbed me and slings me to the floor. And so I get up swinging because this has happened way too many times. And so after that, he punches me across my face. And I can tell by I had like a loose tooth in my mouth and it went flying across the floor. And so I get up swinging again. And so he tries to smother me on the bed. And so after that, you know, the night ended. We end up, you know, in the bed together. And I asked what happened. And he just said, two drunk people, you know. And what was so crazy about it, I still didn't think I needed to leave. After all of that, I still didn't think it was over for us. And so we was actually on a road trip and and so I'm in the car asking him, you know, are we going to be okay? He knew he went too far. He didn't say anything, but it wasn't until we landed into a different city and I went through his phone. That's when I actually got mad and realized that I had to get away from him. So through all of that, the signs of abuse was there. I just never recognized the signs because when I did try to go to somebody to get help, the person told me, the person I went to try to get help, they said, you have a man who comes home, who cooks, who cleans, who works. Why are you complaining?
That was enough for them.
Wow. So through all of that,
Calissa.
yeah. 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 But so through all of that, I still didn't recognize the signs until we got into the different city. Start going through his phone. I seen text messages from his ex-wife, somebody else that he was messaging. And so when we got to, you know, our destination, the only thing I could do to comfort myself was, you know, drink my sorrows away, drink everything away. And it took me to get saved to actually get out of the relationship. So I didn't, like I said, not having the self-love, not having the self-worth, not knowing who you are, period. Abusers will play on that. And if you don't recognize the signs that you are enough and you are worthy, then you are in the hands of an abuser and they have all control. So a lot of that played on my mental because the thing that he said to me that should have stood out to me, but I really didn't recognize until I actually started replaying everything over in my head. He asked me, who was gonna love you like I do? And I believed it. I believed it. I was like, no one's gonna love me. No one's gonna be with me because of the way I look. And I believed every word he said. So it played a lot on my mental. And like I said, it took me to get saved to actually recognize that I had the self-worth and self-love that God had given me in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that is an awesome testimony. I see as usual, the enemy is trying to kick us up off of here. So I hope and pray that it came through on the other side. On my side, I started spinning. So I said, "Oh Lord, I hope they're still there." So thank you so much for sharing that testimony, and I am so glad and so thankful that you were able to get out of it alive. And we can't believe the lies of the enemy, because even when they're not telling us um, how worthless we are, sometimes our own self-talk will tell us those same things. And then when you get in a relationship and here they are to say amen and reiterate those same negative thoughts, it could be so detrimental. And they really make us believe that no one else is going to care about us, no one else is going to love us, and look at how we look, and point out all the negative things that we've given them this ammunition, because they
Yes.
know, because in our moments we've shared
Mm.
things about ourselves we didn't like, and here they use that same information
Yes.
against us, feel and believe like no one else is going to love us. So I'm so glad that you were able
Yes.
to get that with God, to love yourself the way that
Mm.
you were
Yes.
designed to love us. We need to see ourselves the
Mhm.
way that God sees us, and that way that we can love ourselves, we can love other people. Because a lot of times we say that we love that person so much, but in
Mm.
reality,
Yes.
ourselves enough. And so you can't show up and be completely in love and love someone else the way that
Mm.
you should until you love you first.
Yeah.
And that's what we miss. Like, you cannot possibly love this person so much but not love
Mm-mm.
you, you
No, I
know?
love you. Huh?
So Maya, what you want to say about that? I know you got something to say over there. Burn it.
Well, like you said, I started off as the abuser. Like I was so angry from the stuff that happened to me in my childhood, like being molested, being on drugs, like going through daddy issues. I started off the abuser in my first real relationship. Like I would just talk real crazy, like fight. He never fought me, but I would talk real crazy to him, fight him. Like I was just angry. I was an angry person. And it just bring the Bible verse back to me. You reap what you sow. And so when I did, after we broke up and I moved on, wound up getting into a relationship with a guy. He was a psycho. Is That's the best word I can find for it. He was a psycho. It was all new to me. Like I talked to him crazy, and then we really just go in a mix. And so I'm not used to that. Like, okay, it's something different now. Now we gonna be fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. Where do I start? Like, where do I start, Miss Sunshine? It's
Yeah,
so
don't start.
many. It's so many. It's so many. But I remember I'm gonna talk about 3 Pacific times. It was
Okay.
my baby Christmas because it's a lot. It was my baby first Christmas, her first Christmas, December 25th, 2017. I was in the hotel and we had already been fighting. And when me and him get into it, or when I catch him cheating or something, he always threatened suicide. He already tried to kill himself multiple times to keep me there so I can stay with him. So this particular night he had been, and he was on drugs. He played with his nose. So this night he wanted me and the baby to spend Christmas with him. I'm like, okay, cool, we're gonna come spend Christmas with you. So I went to the hotel where he was, and we was just chilling. I put the baby to sleep. I wind up going to sleep, falling asleep, and I just wake up to like feel like something wet on me. He had done slit his wrist and was just letting the blood drip down. And I'm like, what the world? Like, what is going on? You don't care about me. You hate me. You must have like just going berserk. I'm like, let me out this room. Like, let me out. Let me and my baby out this room. Like, he holding the door, pushing me, fighting me. Now I have a daughter. I have a little baby with me, so I'm not only trying to protect me, I'm trying to protect my baby. So I'm trying to get out the room. We fist fighting. I wound up calling his friend. I'm like, somebody got to come get him. He done cut his wrist. He bleeding like blood everywhere. My baby in the bed crying. It's Christmas. I'm like, Jesus, like, what have I done so bad? But those seeds that I planted in my previous relationships, they all had to come back to harvest. So his friend was a firefighter and his wife was a social worker. She was like, we have to get her and the baby out, because if the ambulance come and get him, CPS gonna get in her business, because that's child endangerment, even though he slit his wrist. So I fought my way out, grabbed my baby, we ran to the car. He chasing behind the car to get me to my mama's house. I didn't leave him. Like you, Calissa, I stayed through a lot. I stayed through a lot. And that's just one of the stories. Another pivotal moment, I had one, he was a DJ on Bourbon Street. So I had went out with him on Bourbon to watch him DJ. And he had been drinking and getting high, and I was drinking a little. And I was like, okay, it was time to go that night. And so I had wound up getting his phone, going through his phone, and wound up finding finding out he was talking to somebody else or something. And as soon as I brought it up to him, he very narcissistic. So he tried to switch it on me and turn it on me. Oh, I'm finna kill myself. If anybody on here been to Bourbon, you know it's stop signs on every street. This boy ran every stop sign. I was in the car praying like, God, please just let me live through this. Like, please, God, let me live through this. And if I don't, please forgive me for all my sins, because I ain't trying to go to hell. Like, please, like, help me out of this. He jumped on the interstate, speeding on the interstate, opened the door to the car on the interstate. It's an 18-wheeler not too far behind us. But God kept it far back enough to keep the car from hitting us. He opened the door, put both of his feet out, grabbing the wheel. I have to jump over the passenger seat to the driver's seat to grab the wheel, to finally just bring the car over to the, to the shoulder of the bridge. So I'm on the shoulder of the bridge crying. He grabbed me by my hair. We fighting on the side of the bridge. Fighting. I'm like, Lord, please, like, just get me out of this. I still ain't leave. So this was the last straw. This is when I did that. So once I had my daughter, she was about 4 months, 3 months or whatever. And we was at home, and he had came in there drunk or high or something. And he was like, give me my baby. I'm like, no, like, just go lay down. You're tripping. I'm putting the baby to sleep. I want my baby. That's my baby. Give me my baby. So me and him really tussling over the baby. I'm like, Lord, I can't do this. I can't let my daughter see me go through this. I had already been through so much before, she even came into play. Before I even got pregnant, I was putting up with so much of that same behavior. That's why I just couldn't even tell the whole story. We'll be here all night. So we really tussling over the baby. And like, my mama had to intervene, like, everybody, like, stop. Like, let the baby go. Give her the baby. Give her the baby. Like, the whole apartment is outside at this point. Like, give her the baby. He crying like, no, that's my baby. People always taking stuff from me and being all hysterical, like, put on a whole show. So me and him wound up fighting. My mama got the baby. Me and him wound up fighting. And my mom was like, yo, stop, Maya. You need to get out of this. So I prayed. I'm like, Lord, I remember that night I was sitting in the driveway and I was crying. And I was like, Lord, you got to get me out of this. I was crying. I was like, I love him. I loved him. I loved him. I really loved him. I was like, I love him, and I'm not strong enough to leave this. I remember looking up to heaven saying, God, help me not love him like this. Like, help me. And he did. And after that, it started getting better. It started getting better. And then he started stalking me. And I moved on to another abuser. And so I got with this guy because I'm like, okay, I'm cool now. I can move on. I'm over this. And I thought he was the one too. that was gonna be my husband, because I'm like, God, I'm done. I got my daughter, we good, blah, 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 blah. So me and him was dating, and I wound up having to move from where I was from because the previous dude was looking through my window. Like, he would literally pop up what we was, like, what y'all doing? What you got going on? You got him around my daughter and this and that, causing scenes. And you know, when you go into a relationship, you know how they ask you, you got drama? I'm like, I don't have no drama. I was lying. Had all the drama. Had all the drama. I did not know he was gonna go berserk like that, but the boy was looking through my window, like popping up at the house, trying to show the boy the phone, like, she this, she that. So we wound up moving to close by where I live now. And me and the new dude, our relationship started off, it was good. We was drinking. I had really started getting into God, but I wasn't fully just all the way in. This when I stopped using, stopped taking pills or whatever. So me and him used to drink, so alcohol played a lot into that. And he started off verbally abusive. Like, I seen the anger, but I was like, that's okay. But me saying, like, I need somebody, I felt like I couldn't do it on my own. Like, I had 2 kids at the time. I'm working a job. I had lost my lab license. I was in the process of getting my lab license back because of the murder charge that I had. I was winding up getting all of that off my record. So, you know, I could start back working to provide for me and my kids. I was working at the trampoline park in Slidell. So I felt like I couldn't do it. Like, I needed him to get out of there. I needed him. That's what I felt. I needed him to put me and my kids in a better situation. So I seen the anger, but I overlooked it. So our first, we was drinking. One day we was drinking. We was on our way from a parade or something. And he had hit a bump. And I'm like, dang, like, don't hit a bump in my car like that. Dang. I said something like that. He went off. My daughter in the back, my son in the back, his daughter in the back. He like, B, blah, 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 blah. He wound up getting out the car, so I locked him out. And I wound up calling his daughter mama, like, you need to come and get her because he tripping. Like, he tripping. So he wound up getting back in the car. Cause B, we driving the car. I'm like, whatever it is, what it is. And he knew my past. And I felt like the devil was using him to get me back because I was really trying to change my life. I was really trying to go on a straight and narrow. I was really trying to do the right thing. So it's like he was steady trying to push me in that direction. And you could call who you want and blah, 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 blah. Because it could have been easy for me to call somebody. It could have been easy for me to fight him or do him something. But I got kids now. I'm trying to live better now. I'm trying to set a better example now, even for his daughter that was in the car. So I called my sister. I'm like, come and meet us at this gas station. Come get us. Like, it ain't good. I'll leave the car. My sister wanted to meet us at the gas station. He pulled in my hair. No, you ain't getting. My sister like, let her go. These kids in the car. Somehow me and my kids all got in my sister's car. Me and my sister ride around like, just let him leave. He gonna leave. When we got back to my car, it was destroyed. He destroyed my whole car. He broke my door. And like this, his car was broke. I don't know what was wrong with his car, but my car was the only means of transportation we had. He destroyed my car. And let me rewind something. While we was in the car, he wound up calling his child mama like, come and get her, because this be tripping. Like, talking about me to his ex-girlfriend. I felt like that was the most disrespectful thing somebody ever done to me. I was like, what? He was like, come get, because you know how I get. This B over here tripping, blah, 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 blah. That's when I wound up calling my sister. She came. I mean, when I got back to my car was destroyed. And my sister was just looking at me like, and I was looking at her trying to hold myself together because my kids in the car, my son in the car, my daughter in the car. So my sister was like, don't worry about it, Maya. Let's just get some rope. We got all the trash. It's like he took a trash can that was at the gas and threw trash all over my car, broke my door. The stuff under my car was coming loose, like the stuff that hold a tire rod, whatever you call it. Like my tires wasn't on right. I had to drive to Slidell with the door tied. My sister trailed me with the kids, and I cry. I'm like, I can't believe he did this to my car. Like, he really did this. So we make it home. He wound up coming a little later, and he was like, I'm so sorry. It was the liquor. Da, 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 da. I stayed. My sister was so mad with me. She was like, even my son was mad with me. My mom, he told me later, like, when you took him back, I was mad because what he did why you took him back? He was cursing you out. He was saying this. Once my daughter get out the car, anything can go down. So he was telling me not only F me, he was saying F my kids too. Because he was like, once my daughter gone, anything can go down. I still wind up staying with him. He apologized to me. He apologized to the kids. And so, me and him wind up getting into it again. Some days passed. It didn't take long. Days passed. And another incident happened. Days. So, he got mad because I didn't pay the light bill when he wanted me to pay. He was like, pay the light bill now. I'm like, I'm going to pay it when I want to. I'm still a gangster. Don't play now. I'm just playing. Like, I'm gonna pay this bill when I want to. And I was like, I'm gonna pay when I want to. Blah 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 blah. He go out drinking. I go to bed. My kids in there sleep. He come back in about 3 a.m, tripping, turning on lights because of MF don't want to pay the light bill and I'm on the bed sleep. He pulled a whole mattress off the bed while I'm on it, slung it on the floor. I'm like, oh man, for real, bro. Like, for real, B, you ain't got nothing to say. B, you don't pay no bills in here. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, man, you tripping. I call the police. I'm like, I'm finna call the police. So I'm dialing the police number. My kids in there sleep. He trying to grab the phone. I'm outside running, talking to the police. Like, I need some help. He in here throwing my stuff around, pushing me around, doing all of this, slamming me. Like, come help me. Police get there. I'm outside in a gown. They get there. They run our name. They treat me like I was the aggressor. They clearly see the mattress on the floor, my stuff thrown around. I'm like, he in here throwing my stuff around. And they treat me like I was the bad guy. So I was like, I should have never even called y'all. Like, what I called y'all for? I'm trying to, another ploy for me to go back the way that I was, to get me from keeping going straight. So I'm like, Lord, I'm trying to do the right thing. I called the police my first time ever, calling the police for a situation like this. And this what happened. They're going to treat me like the aggressor told me I need to leave with my kids. The police was like, well, I can't make neither one of y'all leave. But if I have to come back, then both of y'all going to jail. And he said, my daughter not here. I don't care. That's what he said. I don't care. My daughter not here. So again, he was saying, forget me and forget my kids. And so that really started to stick with me. Like, I know you don't love me, but you're really saying, forget my kids. Like, that started to stick with me. And another incident, he wound up calling my daughter stupid or dumb or something, he said. And man, him just started fighting. We was fighting, and I was like, I got to get out of this. I went from verse to verse, thinking I was doing better, and went from verse to verse. This was my breaking point, y'all. We went to Disney World, and it was during the pandemic. I was like, Lord, if this what you want me to do, like, I'm all in. I understand he did his stuff, I did my stuff, but people change. People change, so if this the one for me, show me. When we got back from Disney World, I was taking out, I told him take Legend hair out or something. I was getting ready to rebraid it. And Legend started crying. And I'm like, what you crying for? Legend, he was like, he hurt my hair. I'm like, dang, you ain't have to do that to her head or something. He went off. Cause B, you ain't had to choke me in front of my daughter. Like, my baby watching all of this. Choking me, I'm fighting. I'm like, get off, like, Legend, go in the room. I just want to make sure she's safe, because now I done put my baby in another position to witness me, go through some stuff that she'll think okay when she grow up. like the spirit trying to transfer, or it's so the cycle is trying to reoccur in her life. Like, oh, my mama went through it, I can go through it. The same thing that I left her the previous relationship for, same thing happened now in front of us. I'm like, go in the room, let me and him in that fight. He get on the phone, call his friend, cause this be this, talking about me like a dog. This be this and this be that and this be and da 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 da. I was like, I gotta get out of this. I was like, Lord, help me get out of this. He wound up packing his stuff and leaving for the weekend. So the next day, I think it was a Friday, I went to Waveland. I think when me and you went and spoke, Miss Sunshine, I told you, last time I was in Waveland, I was trying to get an apartment out here. I went to the apartment and I was trying to get it. And I was telling the lady, like, when can I move in this fast? I filled out the application. She ran my stuff. She was like, I couldn't get the apartment. I broke down crying in the lobby. I'm like, I just gotta get out. I just gotta get out. That's all I kept saying. I just gotta get out. I just gotta get out. You gotta get me and my kids out of this. And she was like, it's gonna be okay. Gave me some water, sent me on my way. So I was praying. God told me to come to where I live now. He was like, go put in your application over there. I passed this place up, went to Waveland when he told me come here first. So I wound up coming here, put my application in, and she was like, you can get it, you can move in this day, this. So I had like a month or two in there, still in the house with him. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep my composure, keep everything copacetic for me and the kids. He on his best behavior now. Like, oh, don't leave, because I told him I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Like, it's done. We done. I'll be here for 2 months. I'm out of here. So he on his best behavior. He buying me stuff. My love language is gifts. So he buying me all type of stuff. He buying my kids stuff. He taking us places, giving me money, like everything. And I'm still accepting it, which I shouldn't have been, because I knew I was done. But he thought that was going to get me back. He was taking anger management classes, but I was done. I was done. I was done. And she called me. It's the place I live now. She was like, come and get your key. I was like, thank you, Jesus. And I was like, God, how I'm gonna do this? But while I was in a relationship with him, I wound up getting my lab license back. The DA wrote a letter, let them know that I was cleared of all charges. So I wound up getting my license back, got me a good job, making some good money. And I was like, Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but we gonna do it. Man, you got this. Since I moved in here, because I had the mentality of I couldn't do it without a man. I can't do it on my own. I can't take care of these 2 kids on my own. But when I was like, God, it's me and you, we gonna do this, I haven't lacked since I've been where I'm at. My cup overflowing. My kids get what they want and what they need. I get what I want and what I need. And God just showed me, like, you don't need nobody to love you. I love you. I love you, but you always want to feel that physical love. Like, I need somebody here. I want somebody here. God, like, you got me. Love on me. Love on you. Like you said, Calissa, I didn't love myself. I ain't love myself. I didn't know how. I didn't know how to love myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was never known how to love myself. I felt like I wasn't worthy of love because I felt like I had nothing to give. My virginity was taken from me at a young age. I was molested at a young age. I felt like I had nothing to give. I was angry. I was holding on to a lot. And they used that. That's why I stopped just telling people, when you get in a relationship, they like, what's this? And you telling you your life story on a phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that be the same thing they use on you. It be the same thing they use to abuse you. Exactly. You just putting fuel to the fire, telling them all your business, telling them what you want, so they know how to trick you. Because you're telling them how to trick you. You're telling them what to do to get you. I like this in a man. I want this in a man. I had this, and they doing everything that they can do so they get you right up in there. Then they like, surprise, this not me.
Right.
So God got me out. God got me out. I'm finally loving on me. I'm finally learning how to love me. I'm finally learning me. because I needed to learn me. It was a whole lot of stuff up in here I needed to learn about me. So how could I expect anybody else to love me if I didn't love me, if I didn't even know who I was?
Yeah.
I always I was survival Maya for so long. Like I never was able just to be like chill, like just be me. I always was in survival mode. I gotta take care of this. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this, and I gotta take care of this. I never had a chance to excel and really just be me. So now I'm finding out who Maya is. I'm finding out
Mm-hmm.
how to love Maya and how to love on God and let God love on me. And when love come around, I'ma know, cause God gonna tell me. But ain't no more red flags, no Lord. I'm worth more than that. My kids are worth more than that. My daughters worth more than that. They worth more than that to watch their mama getting beat up, watching their mama fighting, watching their mama crying. They deserve a healthy mama, mentally and physically. They
Yes.
deserve it. So
Ooh, chat.
that's a smidget of the story.
Well, we thank you for sharing that. What'd you call it? Smidget?
Yeah, that
Midget.
was a smidget because it's a
And
lot.
lesson that you can remember, because for me there's so many different traumatic experiences that have happened, and my coping mechanism is kind of almost forgetting some of it, but I have triggers. And I know one incident that had happened to me, this young lady was sharing her testimony, and it just gave me this flashback that I was like, oh my God, I have forgot about that particular situation. And so as it comes up, I'm going to be sharing it. I'm going to be putting it on paper, so that I can put the pieces, there's that word again, pieces. So I can put the pieces of my puzzle back together. I'm not even gonna call it Humpty Dumpty, because once it cracked, it don't never go back. But I'm gonna pick up the pieces and I'm gonna put them together in order to share my story. And it's a shame that it's got to be put together like that. But we've gotten so used to sweeping things up under the rug, not
Yes.
sharing, going through these things behind closed doors, putting a smile on our face, and just really embarrassed. The molestation caused guilt and shame, but I think the physical abuse caused embarrassment, like, because you're going to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to give them another chance and take them back. So you're going
Mm-hmm.
all of these emotions and embarrass and take them back, only to go through the same thing, like Maya said, days later. You can't even say months later or the following year. Those jokers, they come right back months later, because once you give them the green light of saying that I don't think I'm worthy of anything better, so I'm just going to accept what you're dishing out, they come back with a vengeance. And you are lucky, well, blessed, I'm going to say blessed, to get out alive, because those situations become more dangerous every time you take them back. But it's not for us to judge why the woman stays, because we stay for different reasons. We hang in there for different reasons. We go back one more time for different reasons. And you just need a support system. And a lot of times we get this mentality, oh, well, you got a man, so y'all work it out. Or you get a man, I can't do nothing for you.
That
Just
part.
of not realizing that that woman is in a place where she needs you the most. She
Mm-hmm.
needs you more than ever. This man, she needs to be removed safely, because they've threatened her life so many times. If you leave, I'm not only going to kill you, I'm going to kill the children, your mama, your dog, everything that goes with it. And Hollywood and real life shows us that it happens for real.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore we need to be more empathetic toward a woman who is going through, and understand that she's not wanting to be in this abusive situation. She wants it to be healthy. She loves them, and it's not our place to say whether she loves herself or not, because I'm just going to say it for myself. I didn't love myself enough, so I took a whole lot of crap that I should not have taken. My jaw still pops to this day from one of them licks that I took, just making accusations that I'm cheating. But like you all said, those narcissistic men, they turn it around on you like you're the one that's doing the cheating and you're the one that's doing the lying, when in reality it's all them. So anyway, that's all I got to say on that topic. But I do, I hope that these testimonies shed some light on the domestic violence awareness month, that says you don't have to take this. Like, you don't have to take it. We made it out. You can make it out. Maya, she saved for financial reasons. And now, like she said, hand over fist, she's blessing other people along the way. After she and her kids have their wants and their needs met, she's able to people, because what she was fearing, oh Lord God, I don't know if I'll be able to take care of these kids. These kids, that's her favorite term. These kids, Miss Sunshine, these kids. But God has shown up and allows her to take care of herself and those children. And so you don't have to save for financial fear, for lack of finances, because God is the provider. And then Calissa, not loving herself enough, feeling like, he's treating her like nobody else is going to love her. But she learned how to love Calissa right where Calissa was, and even writing a book on the manifestation of his creation. So the book is, oh my God, the book is amazing. I told her the other day, girl, I guess I haven't gotten to the domestic abuse part. What? She's like, no, you ain't made that part. I wish I would have brought it with me on vacation, but that's okay. Get back and I'm gonna complete it. But like I said, I hope that this has been a blessing to someone. Thank you, ladies, for coming to share your testimony. You all get out safely. Get out safely. Create you a plan. Pray about it. God will reveal exactly what you need to do to get out, and you and your children, if you have children, will get to a safe place. And if you need us, call us. We're available. If not, dial 911. Dial 911, get out. Try your best not to go back, because there is life. There is life outside of the abuse. And my topic the other day, I think I posted a picture. I said, living and loving life above the abuse. And when I put that, it's not just physical abuse. Mine is physical, emotional, mental, and sexual. And I am living and loving life above all of the abuse. And it's possible. And I'm going to continue to share my story. I know people going to fall off. They're not going to like what I have to say. But that's not my business. My business is to live life free and help others be free as well. So with that said, it's gonna turn nighttime. I hit this Golden Bridge, but it's so beautiful. But we got to go get some food. Y'all, they out here cooking on some, what you said, some tool trays. Makeshift tool boxes or something like that. And it's toolbox trays. It smells so good. I tell you what, where there is a will, there's a way. We don't need to make excuses for nothing, because when you want to make something happen, you make it happen.
That's right.
And they still standing out here doing it. So y'all, let's get away from making excuses of why not to do things, but reasons of why we could, because God is on our side. You couldn't have made me think earlier this year that I was going to be in California. It's like, girl, who goes on vacation 2 and 3 times a year? But baby, I'm over here. Let me tell you, Maya Scott, Miss Sunshine, Miss Sunshine, you just go to California after you leave Georgia. I said, girl, you done lost your mind. And the Lord put me in the shower to go try, or to go do it. I think he said, just go. I said, okay, Lord. I said, if they have availability, I'll go. And sure enough, this was the only, when I say only weekend available that they had. The lady said, otherwise you will have to wait. And that word stood out to me, because God said, go. He sent Lanita, same pastor Maya was talking about, to tell me about a dream. She said, God's gave me a dream and your name was in the green light. Green light means go. And when that lady said you would have to wait until next year, I said, Lord, this ain't what you mean for me to do, is to wait. So the Nike check mark said, just do it. And honey, that's what I did. I showed up in Atlanta for the prophetic pop-up. Next night, I was in, what was next night? Reno, trying to get to Lake Tahoe. From Lake Tahoe, I'm over here in, I think the next stop was Sacramento, and now I'm in San Francisco. So, hey, Go with God and he'll take you places. That's all I'm here to say. And he'll put people in your pathway to bless you along the journey. Along the journey. So don't fear when you don't know the how. Just do. Because I didn't know how. I just said, yes, I'll go. So don't wait. Y'all go. Get out. Get out of the situation. Trust God and go. That's what I'm going to end with. Because it's dark and I was ready to eat. Listen, y'all make sure y'all share this video. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Calissa. We will do this again another time, another day, and another topic. I love y'all so much.
Love you too.
All
You
right.
welcome.
I know. Thank y'all. Y'all go out, share a smile, and spread some sunshine. Mwah. Good night.
Good night.